Sup gamer? Over the last few months, you may have noticed that the videos I've posted on the channel have been about ARMS and how the community needs to create events and get the word out there. So I decided to get it done myself and create the largest ARMS tournament of 2024.
Something right now, if he doesn't
Yeah,
use the rush.
the timer. And the
no!
strategy is coming.
Dude!
SNG has found the rush in the chaos, in the midst of the chaos.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen. No!
Rush. What is going on?
We've got to go back to the beginning of how this journey started though. Imagine being little old me, working on the next video I would upload, tuning into a Coney stream on a random night just to see him react to my video about the ARMS community, and I didn't even have to pay him for it. I was so excited. And then I was screaming at my computer monitor every time his chat said that I didn't actually cook. Little did they know that those chatters would be the catalyst for this event. Really, I shouldn't care about what they think because the only good Twitch chatter is one of my chatters over at twitch.tv/BrettWils, but I digress. We'll talk about Coney later, he's not super important right now. So anyway, point is, a lot of Twitch chatters who aren't even mine said I was dumb and cringe, which is correct, but how could I show them that I was right, on top of being cringe and dumb? And that's when I decided to just make the tournament. That's all well and good, but how in the world do I do that? I don't know anything about where the ARMS community lives, or how to make them aware of what I want to do, or even getting them to play. I don't even know what website they use for brackets, let alone commonly accepted rule sets. Immediately, I'm way out of my element, deep up the river without a paddle. That's where our first new character in the story comes in, SNG. For those of you who don't know him, he's another content creator who exclusively focuses on ARMS, and he genuinely makes some really cool stuff. He recently uploaded this video to his channel about him adding Springman into Smash Ultimate, so feel free to check that out if you want to show him some love. But anyway, SNG held the map to guide me around the ARMS community, and I'm really glad he helped out. See, what I ended up discovering is that the ARMS community itself is very fractured into different Discord servers, and that's going to come into play later. You've got ARMS Central, the European ARMS Central Discord server, Ohio ARMS, St. Louis ARMS, SNG's own server, Neo Party Crash, and ARMS Art server, and I could keep going. Point is, ARMS Central isn't quite central, and that's something that I realized really quickly as I spoke more with SNG. From that moment, it was important to me that I wasn't causing any more division within the community, and I wanted to make ARMS Central be the place where matchmaking and event communications were held, as opposed to my own Discord community. I just needed to know who to speak with, and I was quickly introduced to Malik. For those of you who don't know her, she's kind of the mom of the ARMS community. She's been there since the beginning, casting events, organizing in-person and online tournaments, the whole shebang. In 2024, she's still kicking in one of the central pillars of the community. I told her a little bit about what I was doing, she was in, and agreed to commentating for the event if needed. She also had a little chat with the rest of the North American ARMS backroom, the group of people who decide the direction for the community, and I was granted access to them. This was actually really helpful and important because, I'll just say it, I wasn't a huge fan of the rule set that the North American community was playing with at the time. Like, not having Spring Stadium as a legal stage is a little bit criminal. I wanted to change up the rules for my event a little bit, and luckily they were in the process of revising what stages would be legal, banned, or set as a counterpick for tournaments going forward. I sat my ass down, listened, looked at the changes that were being made, and created my rules in tandem to be just similar enough to be familiar, but having enough changes to make it a little more interesting, but still competitively balanced. It's really a couple of small changes like swapping out Temple Grounds and Sparring Ring in their rule set for Spring Stadium and Ribbon Ring in my rule set. While I was observing the North America backroom though, I had my own backroom for the event going, comprised mainly of SNG, Prince, a professional ARMS player, and our friend Aya. Aya is also a professional ARMS player, but she was mostly there for motivational and art support. Early into planning, we decided on naming it the BrettWils Championship Series, and she created this wonderful logo that I explicitly told her to borrow from the Ludwig Ogren Championship Series as a springboard. Prince, on the other hand, was a huge player in shaping the event itself, but we're going to talk about him a little bit later too. Over time, we picked up another member of the team. another content creator by the name of Flipdo who is very interested in commentating the event. From there, we had a strong duo to commentate the first event, a North America only major. Now we just had to get the word out, but we had to establish a few things first. Firstly, to get some additional eyes on the event, I wanted to make it known that we would be raising funds for No Kid Hungry, a really great charity in the US that makes sure that, well, no kid goes hungry. Secondly, we wanted to organize a prize pool for the competition. I hate to say it, but people really like showing up in numbers when money is involved. That's really more of a general FGC thing, but it applies to ARMS too. At the time, I thought that it would be really important that this isn't necessarily my event, but a community event. I wanted to get the community involved and directly invested by making both of these funded by the community at large through both direct donations and, well, I wanted some ARMS merch to exist, so I created some merch for the event with all of the proceeds going towards the prize pool as well as No Kid Hungry. Now that we had our hooks, we just had to get the word out there, and that's where I committed my first major mistake. Actually promoting the event. You remember when I said we'll talk about Coney later? Now it's later. When it came to promoting the event, I really only had time to get one video explaining the event out that included a really cool trailer for the event. In this trailer, I took a clip from that time that Coney reacted to my ARMS video and used it as a base to say, hey, I'm not busy. Y'all want a tournament. You want recognition. I got you, fam. This in and of itself wasn't necessarily a mistake. I really like what I ended up making. But at the same time, when I uploaded it, it was really clickbaity, which meant it got a lot of views really quickly, but no one was really watching the whole video or engaging with it, which made it die off way too fast. I also told people not to bug Coney about it, but I was hoping maybe like 1 or 2 of you might mention it in chat or Twitter as he didn't read the messages I sent him about it. Now, truth of the matter is, I'm actually very busy as well. I guess I'm not too busy. If you haven't noticed, I don't exactly do YouTube full time. I've got my regular old 9 to 5, then from there it was working on the event non-stop, which is also why the channel took a little pause from regular content. I ended up making all the graphics for the event, the on-stream presentation, getting everything organized so the stream goes smoothly for both Twitch and YouTube, and making sure everything was locked down. By the way, I announced this 1 month prior to the event actually happening, so it was crunch time, and I was drowning, but the worst was behind me, right? There's no way things could get more complicated than they already were, right? We had tournament organizers on lock, I had the perfect stream setup in development, rules were locked in, and commentators were secured. It should only get easier from here, right? Wrong! That's when my backroom, the BWCS gang, had an amazing idea. Since the tournament was online and we couldn't exactly prevent players from other regions from competing, why not open it up to a global event? So that's what we did, and I immediately got to work reaching out to more people. Prince pointed me in the direction of Rifa, the head of the European ARMS community, and a Japanese player named Poco, one of the head organizers of the ARMS community in Japan. So I shot Poco a message on Twitter and waited for a response because of time zones, and I hit up Rifa. I told him what I was up to, and he said, yeah, that's cool, I'll post about the event for you. And I said, really? That's it? That was easy. And he says to me, yeah, I mean, the European community's kinda dead compared to NA, but I figure any event is a good event, and I says to him, all right, fair enough. While I was in town though, I had a few more questions for him, namely about other people to contact in the Japanese scene, and if he knew any European commentators who would want to come out of retirement. As far as Japan went, he sent me in the direction of Hebirot? I still don't really know how to pronounce his name. I am so sorry. I never asked. And I shot him a message and waited, because time zones. As far as commentators went, he shot me a list of 4 names. Paul Estlax, Matthias Wolfbrock, Layla, and Diefer. He says to me though, good luck man, I don't know that any of them would want to come back to it. It might be a tough sell. And I said, all right, thanks for the help. From there, I had my mission. I knew that if I wanted to open it up, I definitely wanted some European representation on the casting bench. So I went ahead and shot all of them a message in the hopes that, like, at least one of them would reply back. And from there, I waited on responses.
You've got mail.
Around that time, I ended up getting word back from our friends in Japan. In short, they thought that what I was doing was really cool, but had some really reasonable concerns when it came to tournament structure and wanted to see how the first event went first so they could have a better grasp of what it would look like. Fair enough. Shortly after, the Europe team had gotten back to me, and in general, it was the same response from every single one of them. Yeah, that's super cool. I'm down. So when is it? And I was like, I haven't even told you the core of the event yet. That's it. I was expecting this to be harder. Unfortunately, the only one who couldn't make it for the first event was Deefer, because he had just gotten married. Congratulations, by the way. But everyone else was locked in for September. At last, I had not just 2 of the strongest North American commentators, but 3 of the strongest in Europe in about the span of a week. I made a little group chat for all the commentators to re-meet and get together, and now all we had to do was wait until the day of the event, and on that day we had a total of 32 players. That might not sound like much, but that's a pretty good size for a regular local event, and larger than any other event the community has put together in 2024. And I gotta say, if I'm being honest, the day ended up being a huge mess at first. The stream and tournament itself started a little late because I started soundcheck a little late and we all got distracted, but that's fine, I can work with that. But what I soon discovered was that once we got to gameplay, both streams were super broken.
To BWCS.
While I was testing, I got 2 streams for YouTube and Twitch working pretty smoothly on my TV, but there was one element I didn't get to test, the commentator view. In order to minimize potential lag and connection issues for participants, instead of having the commentators join the lobby for a totally live view, I was hosting a stream of the lobby in our Discord call. Little did I realize my PC can handle encoding 2 1080p streams, but adding a 720 stream to the mix was just a little bit too much. Thankfully, we pivoted pretty quickly, got the commentators into the lobby, and things ran smoothly from there. Tech issues were done and solved, but I had another issue that was brewing during day 1. Like I mentioned earlier, all the communications for matchmaking were being done in the ARM Central Discord server, and I wasn't able to help with answering player questions or ensuring people were following rules because I was busy running the whole stream and queuing up the next match to be played for the stream. Instead, to do this, I relied on my team of tournament organizers, SNG and Prince. Or so I thought. This is where I really fucked up, and I fucked up big. Prior to the event, I didn't really talk with SNG about being a tournament organizer. I just assumed he would do it as part of the job of being on the event team. So, by the time the event started, I had no idea that I had only one organizer managing all 32 people, and that was Prince, all while he was trying to play through his matches himself. Now, I don't know if you've ever organized a tournament yourself, but it's a lot of work, even if you're not by yourself. It's kind of like trying to organize a room full of kindergartners into doing the right thing. No disrespect to the competitors at all, because there's a lot going on while the event is happening, but the rule sheet is right there. This was a massive load of work and stress that I had put on him, and I still feel incredibly bad about it because I directly put him in that position by not communicating with the team and ensuring that part was as locked down as the rest of the tournament. But I wanted to highlight this huge mistake on my part, not to apologize to him, because we had that discussion shortly afterwards and we're cool now. But instead to highlight how, without him doing that, the event would not have been as smooth as it was otherwise. He put up with it when he could have bailed at any time to make sure other players would have a good, fun experience because he loves this game that much. He didn't do it for me or for the stream, but for his fellow players, and we need more people like him in the scene or any other community. I genuinely cannot thank or apologize to him enough for keeping things going and then subsequently bitching me out for failing him, and I'm so grateful to have him as part of my team. Afterwards, I was pretty drained from the whole thing, so I took a little vacation in silence while I was working on a few different projects for the channel, and I may or may not have also joked that the BWCS winter event was cancelled. And at first, that was just a joke, but I'm gonna level with you guys. I just don't have the time to continue running this event to the level I want, so BWCS isn't necessarily cancelled, but it is put on hold. Between the day job, running this channel, and trying to maintain some level of social life, there just isn't enough time in the day yet. One day, I'll be able to do content full-time, and I plan on bringing back BWCS as soon as that day comes. If you want to assist me in that mission, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're already subscribed, please consider becoming a member to the channel. It's through your guys' support that I can continue making videos, and I appreciate everyone who supports me in doing this. And I'll see you all next video.